Hello, my name is Hee-Eun An. My subject is Advanced Korean Language Learners, a Perception of Korean Writing class, targeting the learners aiming for college admission. The objective of this study is to suggest the future direction of effective Korean writing education for advanced Korean language learners aiming for college admission by analyzing their perception, evolution, and expectation of writing study in Korean class hours. First, introduction. The learners have various motives for learning Korean language, and they aim to concentrate on learning suited for their own goals of learning. In most cases, such as speaking and listening are regarded as essential linguistic activities for practical life, while the writing activity is usually treated as secondary activity. In the advanced level, however, the Korean writing activity is gradually increasing, so that the weight of Korean writing study is increasing as well. It has been revealed that the most difficult areas for foreign students in reality are writing, speaking, listening, and reading in order. This is because the writing activities is in charge of comprehensive functions where equipotes with other areas beside vocabulary, sentence composition, ability, and spelling. Thus, in the actual side of Korean language education, it is spending a lot of time on the teaching learning situations for the improvement of learners' writing ability. Nevertheless, the teachers of writing education are suffering from many difficulties because of teacher centered limited teaching method. Writing homework should have for various steps and forms and unfulfilled feedbacks because a lot of homework. As the writing education aims to cultivate the learner's writing ability, it is so natural to provide the education meeting the learner's needs and expectation. Therefore, this study aims to suggest the future direction of effective Korean writing education for advanced Korean language learners aiming for college admission by analyzing their perception, evolution, and expectation of writing study in Korean class hours. 2. Research scope and method. This survey was conducted targeting total 30 advanced Korean language learners residing in Korea, and they were all the learners aiming for college admission. In the gender ratio, there were 14 women and 16 men, so that the difference of gender ratio was pretty low. This survey aimed to understand the current state of writing study by examining the difficulties in writing study and writing process of learners. The survey contents were largely divided into 1. Personal information of learners, 2. Learners' overall thinking of writing study, 3. Writing process of learners, 4. Difficulties in writing study of learners. Next, recognitions survey result. The learners' overall thinking of writing study was briefly researched. The survey asked about their opinions, such as the parts considered to be improved through Korean rights activity and desired methods and field of writing study, and it was summarized as follows. All the survey response selected multiply were also counted and summarized when asking about the functions felt the most difficult when learning Korean language. Among 4 functions of language such as listening, speaking, reading, and writing, the 60–70% of students said writing, which was followed by speaking 27% and reading 6%, while there were no learners who felt listening the most difficult, because they were relatively a lot exposed to Korean-speaking environment while studying Korean language in Korea. It might be relatively easy for them to understand Korean language through listening and reading. The survey asked about what they learned the most from writing education. The 36% of learners said grammar, which was followed by how to compose writing 23%, writing process 13%, writing contents 13%, vocabulary 13%, and writing method in each genre 2%. This result shows that many learners receiving the grammar concentrated writing education running towards more formal aspects. Also, in relation to desired writing education, the learners were told to select 3 things from the presented examples. The most learners selected grammar 22% and vocabulary education related to them 22%, which was followed by various writing methods, writing process, reading lots of writing related to them, and referring to example writings. Many learners responded that they would like to study grammar and vocabulary in writing class because they felt the shortage of vocabulary and grammar required for composing sentences. This result also shows that many learners were paying attention to relatively small units like vocabulary and sentence than the whole writing when writing in Korean. Besides this, many learners responded that they would like to learn about writing method or writing process so that it would be necessary to think about how to reflect such needs to writing lesson in the future. Next, a writing process. In order to understand the Korean writing process of learners, the writing process was divided into pre-writing, writing, and post-writing in the survey, and the results are as follows. First, in the pre-writing stage, they were asked about if they would roughly jot down they are thinking about them if they would decide the contents for introduction, body, and conclusion in the advanced in, and if they would think about which form and structure would go well with the writing. Even through jotting down, their thinking about them is deeply related to teachers' learning. Teaching manager, the 40% of learners said that they did not really jot it down, which was followed by average 26% jotting down their thinking, 24%, and mostly jot down their thinking, 10%. The teacher could teach how to slowly jot down thinking through and mind mapping during writing activities in class. Next, in the writing stage, they were asked about which method would be used for actual writing and if they would keep thinking about them while doing writing. Regarding the method of writing, the most learners, 29.7%, responded that the mother tongue would be changed to Korean to reduce this interference this interference of mother tongue. The overall skills of Korean language should be improved besides writing. Next, the percentage of pre-activity was 21.6%. As the learners feel the shortage of vocabulary when writing in Korean, it would be necessary to teach how to currently utilize dictionary so they do not depend on the dictionary too much. Besides this, there were many responses, and 10.8% of runners said that they would receive help from Korean friends. Lastly, in the post-writing stage, they were asked about if they would read through the writing again after completing the writing to see if the contents of writing recorded with them, and if there were any errors in vocabulary, spelling, and grammar, and how they would utilize the feedbacks on writing from teacher. In the result, a lot of Korean language learners did not usually read through their writing after completing it, and they were not fully utilizing the feedbacks on writing either. Third, difficulties in writing learning. The last part of this survey asked total 8 questions about difficulties in writing study of Korean language learners and the degree of difficulty was divided into 5, such as very much, most likely, average, not really, not at all. The result of this study could be summarized in graph or as follows. To the question about having difficulties in deciding which contains the 50% of runners selected very much or most likely. Next, to the question about having difficulties because of Korean grammar, the 30% of runners selected very much or most likely. To the question about feeling difficult in selection proper words, the 67% of runners selected very much or most likely, which shows the highest percentage. To the question about feeling difficult in planning the whole composition of writing total, and 70% of runners selected very much or most likely, which shows the relatively low percentage. Total 57% of runners felt difficult in logically connecting many ideas in writing, which was selected by the second most runners after vocabulary. Next, to the question about having difficulties in properly dividing it into introduction, body, and conclusion, and 37% of runners selected very much or yes, while total 33% of runners did not fully know the form depending on the types of writing. Lastly, to the question about having difficulties in modifying the long part of themselves, total 33% of runners selected very much or most likely. Such a result of this survey must be because foreign runners feel difficult to properly express their own thinking due to the limited of language level when writing in Korean, and then there must be a lot to pay attention contrary to their own mother's tongue. Our last conclusion. First, the advanced Korean language learners need to perceive the purpose of learning Korean language when receiving the writing education. In the result of this survey, the employment and school admission shows the highest percentage as the purpose of learning Korean language, and there were other purpose as well. Second, if grammar-centered writing education is performed, many learners reported that they learned grammar and vocabulary the most from writing education, and they also pointed out grammar and vocabulary as the contents of writing education they would like to learn in the future. These results show that the learners feel difficult in selection proper words or composing sentences to express their own opinions, and at the same time, many learners are perceiving that writing is the grammar-centered ability. Third, it would be easy to pay more attention to pre-writing and post-writing activities. In the result of this survey, the learners did not have smooth pre-writing and post-writing activities when writing in Korean. Paying more attention to pre-writing activities, the learners should be able to perform the activities of writing process better, which could be examined again through post-write activity. Besides this, the result of this survey through rarely showed the part of learners should feel difficult in and problems with the writing study process. And besides of this, the better writing instruction manuals could be established. Thank you.